everybody, and welcome to podcast number 12 of The Real Estate Show. I'm Cherie Selley, and with me is the fantastic and wonderful, talented Judy Steenland.
Oh, you're too sweet.
So we are part of Selley Group Real Estate, and we would love to share more relevant information about the real estate market, about our experiences, our testimonies, what's been happening. And on this episode, we're going to hit some of the really interesting articles that we've been seeing lately about real estate. And we led into this in the last podcast, but I'd like to continue this a little bit more, that there has been literally a pandemic migration.
Right. Right. People are fleeing.
They're fleeing certain states.
Yeah.
And we covered that, but I in case you didn't hear, I'll cover the states again where the top 10 states that people are moving out of. So that would be New York, Texas, District of Columbia, North Carolina, California, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Minnesota, West Virginia, and Florida. So those are the top states people are moving out of. We're not on that list, Judy.
Right. That's why we're seeing 30 and 40 offers on a property, Cherise, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually true. And I mean, in your opinion, you guys moved from Texas, so you were on the list. Now, it wasn't a pandemic move.
Right. And thank the Lord, I feel like, that we moved before the pandemic because we didn't experience the just having a hard time finding a home.
True.
Or building a home.
You got to settle in a little bit more gently into this state.
Right. Yes.
So explain a little bit, though, I mean, from your perspective, why do you think people are moving here to Colorado?
Yeah. Well, we came from Texas and we moved there in 2000. By the time we left in 2018, it was taking about an hour and a half to go 12 miles for the commute back and forth to the office.
Which part of Texas?
North Dallas. So we lived in Allen, but, my husband, his offices were in the Galleria Towers. And so to go literally 12 miles, it was an hour and a half.
No.
And, coming out here to Colorado in the summers and the winters, I mean, there's a beauty here that just draws you in. And when you get here and you start experiencing just this little bit of the slower pace of life, the traffic that is not what it is in large cities where people are moving, into. I mean, Texas is still, even though people are moving out, there are thousands and thousands of people moving in every day also. Mm-hmm. And so we were just ready for a change of pace, change of life. Style, and to experience just all that the outdoors has to offer here.
It's so interesting because when we communicate and it's maybe on a weekend or after hours or whatever, you and your husband have just had a hike. You've just been able to go and right out of your backyard, literally.
Right. Yes.
So it's like you have this connection with nature and also with the business world that you don't have to sacrifice one for the other here.
That's right. It's so therapeutic, and it's such a nice way it's really self-care, just disconnecting for just a little bit and then being able to plug back in and give it all you've got.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And I think other people are also finding that we're one of the top states to move to for job opportunities.
Yeah.
Job growth, healthcare, education, all those reasons are driving people into this area in droves.
Right. And I think Colorado Springs specifically because Denver has notoriously been higher in their cost of living. Mm-hmm. And then we're so close. We can be at the mountains, up to the ski resorts in a couple of hours. And we still have all of the amenities here that we don't have to go anywhere.
You're right.
Yeah. It's just right here.
Everything we could need. And, even though our home pricing continues to increase in big ways, we talked about it, that it's about $8,000 right now a month so far has been our average gain this year. We're still under, for the average price home, we're still just under $500,000. Mm-hmm. So we're at $489,000.
Yeah.
So even in the scheme of things, with some of these other top cities that are emerging in the United States, we're still, somewhat affordable, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it's crazy.
I know 500 is a big number, especially for a first-time home buyer. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're seeing incomes go up substantially and significantly because these folks wouldn't be able to qualify for these loans if they weren't having the income.
Right.
So the debt-to-income ratio is what qualifies them. So they're qualified buyers.
Yes.
And while you'd like to spend less, I mean, the money's there, and is your home the place you're going to invest it?
I think that's such a good point. And you're not just, when you buy a home, you're not buying a home. You're also buying the lifestyle.
That's right.
And you get to choose. So many people get to choose where they want to live now.
Right, more so than ever. And that's one thing I think that COVID did allow people, it gave them the freedom.
Exactly.
And we've talked about that several times, but we're continuing to see as companies decide not to bring employees back into the office, more and more people are moving.
And, that leads into our next topic because I think it's so interesting to me. I was just reading on an article from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, that vacation homes are a hot commodity since the pandemic. Because, and I was wondering as I was reading it at first, I thought, well, are there just more investors out there? Well, yes, but the point is people are doing exactly what we're talking about. They're choosing a vacation home where they want to stay to even work. And if they're not there at certain seasons, then they want the vacation home rental to pay for that house.
Right.
So what we're seeing is that sales jumped 57%. The article said year over year in 2020, and annual home growth only jumped 20%.
Wow.
So you have a bigger jump with vacation home purchases than actual first home purchases. Yeah. And because of that flexibility of the workforce, it's a big driving factor as long as somebody has high-speed internet. That's a key. When people are thinking of buying a vacation home, please don't buy it in Podunkville, where you have no high-speed internet.
Yeah, it's a criteria. It's like on their checklist. Does it have high-speed internet?
And it has to be really good internet.
Yeah.
But median home prices jumped for vacation homes over 14% last year. So 14.2% versus 10% for the national average. So again, there is a hotter market, a hotter commodity for vacation homes. And the interesting thing about those buyers is that they're more likely and more willing to pay in cash for that property. So they're pulling money, and there's so many people sitting on cash right now, not knowing what to do with it. They don't trust the market. The market it's like, are we going to ride this market up more right now or not? And so I have a lot of clients that have been in that case where they're like, no, we're going to go ahead and pull the money out and purchase something.
Invest in real estate. Yeah.
So this is a great place to buy a vacation home. And even if it's not a weekly rental, because there are a lot of restrictions now about buying short-term rentals, corporate rentals are a huge thing. So, ping us up if you're thinking about something like that, because this is the place to do it.
Yeah. And there are restrictions and guidelines that they need to know about going into it at the same time. So you don't want to just buy a house anywhere and think that it's going to be a great short-term rental when we don't know if we can get permits and all the things that come along with it.
That's
so there's a
exactly
lot of
right.
education even in that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Judy, carry us into our last topic about things that the pandemic have kind of changed about the way buyers are thinking about their homes.
Well, we know home has become way more of a priority and important because people are spending so much time there. But I think one of the trends that we're seeing are outdoor living spaces and backyards being a big requirement for them. Or we're seeing people really dump some money into making it someplace that's a retreat for them. And in Colorado, our evenings and mornings, out on around a fire pit, and just it's magical.
Well, I've enjoyed our outdoor evenings at your house on your deck.
We have to.
And I love that the planters are high above where the animals can't get to them.
Right. The bears, our animals can't get to them, but there are the bears and the deer and the things that we, I think the dog gate makes us feel just a little bit more secure. I don't know why.
False security, Judy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, we're seeing these amazing fire pit setups go in, and hot tubs. And I mean, it just really, it draws you outdoors. And
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was so interesting that there was in this other NAR article that I read that gardening had a 20% increase in Google searches.
Oh, wow.
During the pandemic, and outdoor basketball courts had a 42% increase in Google searches.
Wow.
So guys, if when you're thinking about your home, these are things that are going to last. I think the pandemic changed people's value about living, and value not just about the box, but think outside of the box, as this great CRS article said. Think outside of it and enjoy your outdoor living space.
Right.
Make it something special. That's something that you excel at, Judy.
Oh, well, you're sweet. We love the outdoors, and we love to be out as much as we can. We love our home, but that's just an extension of it, and it feels like a whole nother living space.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to be just part of your inspiration as you're searching for a home, but not only a home, but a way to live. And so please just remember that we're here to educate, to inform, and to inspire you in your real estate journey. So thank you so much for being with us, and please catch us next time.
Thanks, Reese.
Thank you.